Let's see. We're trying something new today, going live on a different type of platform. Well, it's not different because I do this um, for the Sovereign Soul every Tuesday. So that's not actually different, but it isn't a platform that we use on a regular basis in business. So we'll see how this goes in any event. Hello, and happy Wednesday. I'm just gonna try and find myself here. There we go. I'm just gonna find myself. Because I don't know. Do you see captions? Chat. There we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I see how to work this now. Bear with me as I try something new. We're trying something brand new and it's exciting. I didn't make any announcements anywhere that this is what we were going to try. I needed anybody to show up and do this thing with me, but that's okay. That's okay. We wing it. We wing it a lot. Winging can be a good thing sometimes. I felt really guided this morning to just show up and share a bit of insight that has been kind of coming through and that I thought maybe you might find of value. So you are interacting with me. And I can see comments no matter where you're tuning in from. We're streaming right now on LinkedIn. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. Super exciting. So definitely be sure to leave a comment, say hello, wherever you're tuning into. Maybe you could, I don't see where people come into, I don't think. So if you want to say, hey, I'm tuning in from YouTube. Hey, I'm tuning in from LinkedIn. Hey, I'm tuning in from Facebook. That would be awesome. Like, if you'll help me have fun with this would be great. Hi, Suzanne. Good afternoon. Okay, now what was I doing? I was trying to do something, but I can't remember what I was doing. Let me remind myself of what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? Yes, I want to share this. I want to share this with my personal page as well. Because what I really want to talk about today, I feel like many people are experiencing this and may not even have an awareness of what this is. So that's what I want to do here. That's what I want to do. So just please give me a moment, just a quick moment to make sure that what I'm doing is actually working. Team Jackie's on other calls. Silly team. But that's okay. Team Jackie's on other calls. So we're just going to make sure that we're doing what we're okay. Awesome. Hi Jello. You're coming in from YouTube. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. It's exciting. I'm finding friends on YouTube. This is so good. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Okay. So big conversation today that kind of came in this morning as I was questioning some things about myself, actually. Been feeling, energy around. That one might try to label as heavy. That one might try to label as energy that can produce feelings of separation, feelings of anxiety, feelings of frustration, feelings of fatigue. Like if I've given you an energy that you can resonate with, can you just let me know that's me? I'm feeling the fatigue, or I'm feeling the anxiety, or I'm feeling the frustration, or I'm feeling the uncertainty. Can you post that for me? Can you share that with me? Because I think what I'm going to talk to you about today is really going to hit the nail on the head for you. And it might just blow the doors off of what you're thinking it is when it's not what you think that it is. I won't be so cryptic, I promise. Pop on, say hello. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on YouTube? Where are you? Uncertainty. Thank you, love. Thank you. I see you. I see you. I see you very clearly. I'm feeling tired. Okay. I see you. I see you very clearly. Yeah, there is some energy right now present that is creating it's creating what some might be misinterpreting. for these other energies: frustration, anger, fatigue, anxiety, overwhelm, uncertainty, unworthiness, right? And it's called compassion fatigue. It's called compassion fatigue. And it's compassion. Let's break it down. To be fatigued means to be tired. Yeah? To be like overworked in a way, physically, emotionally, energetically, mentally. Like I've been thinking too much. Been thinking too much. And compassion, and my definition of compassion, is wanting for others what they want for themselves and being able to step away personally when what people want for themselves don't resonate with what I want for myself, but extending them still the grace and the love of God, the love of the divine, the love of source, be it what you met, whatever it is for you. Um, Still seeing them as a spiritual being having their own human experience, wanting for them what they want for themselves, right? But knowing that I get to lean in to see, does this resonate with me? I get to lean in to see if this is something that I jive with. Because if it's not, I have to know that I got to go, I have to move away from it. I can't stay in spaces and places and with people or around energy that's not supportive of where I see myself as going. And I really feel like the occasional need to check in with that has become a moment by moment thing for some of us because it is very loud on social media. It's very loud in the world right now with the things that are unfolding. It's very confusing. When you are a seeker of the divine, when you are a seeker and the expander of love, sometimes things take place that you just will not have the understanding of or answers to. Sometimes you are really, truly being asked to just lean in to your faith so that you can reclaim a bit of power and can feel safe in the resting. Because what we are conditioned to believe is that if you don't have the answer, you have to go and figure it out. That if you have things to take care of, Suzanne, and you're tired, you just have to push through. That if you are in times you've never seen yourself in before, uncertainty is crazy, scary, Jello. But has anyone yet stopped to remind themselves that today is a day you've not seen yet? That as much as we have gotten used to this thing called human, one, it's the first time in this lifetime that you have done human. Like, let me just sit with you for this for a minute. You've never been human before. In this way, in this space, in this time, as you. I do believe that we've lived past lives, but that was a lifetime in the past. It's not here now. Like, this is the first time I've done this journey of being human as Jacqueline Hopper. It's your first time being human. Why do you think you have to know it all? Why do you think you have to figure it all out? Why do you think you can't rest? Why do you think you can't be tired? Why do you think you have to push yourself? Why? What are you what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I was listening in on a class recently and these beautiful awarenesses were coming that really hit my heart. And I always sit with things. I'm a generator by human design. If you know anything about that, you know what I mean. If you don't, there's beautiful people in my awareness that could support you with understanding human design. All you have to do is send me a message. I can help you with that. But I'm a generator. My human design is a generator. What that means is that I take the insight, the wisdom, the inspiration from the outside world and I pull it in and I use it for my own navigation. right? And as a spiritual mentor, I work with energy all day long. I am seeing energy, reading energy, connecting to spirit all day long. And the outside world gives me things to question, to ponder, to learn, to experience. And I take it back and I make it my own. And I receive this insight as a generator. I receive this insight through other people's books, through their teachings, through my client calls. When my clients come to me and they're experiencing something, it's my opportunity to bring spirit into the room, but where does spirit come in? It comes in through me. So I get to mingle first and always with spirit before I deliver the message to my client, before I deliver the message to you. And as I said this morning, I was sitting here going, what is going on? What is happening? Is there something wrong? Do I need healing? Do I need to do something different? Do I need to make a change? Am I not resonating anymore? What's going on? Is this a me thing? Because we're taught that I'm the only one that I can change nothing but me. I can heal nothing but me. So in this moment, I'm coming to you, spirit, as a me who is in need of some support. What is going on? And my guides came in really clearly with this vision of how we have been being compassionate in whatever way it looks like compassion for you, whatever way compassion looks like for you. I want you to define compassion for yourself because you've been doing it over and over and over and over and over, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. And it's exhausting. We're experiencing a little bit of resilience fatigue when we are expected to bounce back. Self expectation, other expectations, people, just bounce back. It's time to just got to just bounce back. Okay, we took a loss. Let's bounce back. Okay, I attempted this thing. It didn't work out the way I wanted to. Let's bounce back. Let's bounce back. Let's bounce back. That's exhausting. It's tiring. And I want to own that and show you this because it can be really hard to have the awareness that you're having a compassion fatigue, you're having a resilience fatigue. It's fatigue nonetheless. And whether this is spiritually or physically or energetically, emotionally, mentally, whatever way you're experiencing this fatigue in this moment, know that it's okay. Know that it's okay. And please know that it doesn't mean anything about you. Your value is not in question. Your worth is not in question. Your purpose is not in question. This thing I do about myself sometimes, and people close to me, they know this, they know what I mean. They know us. They're like, say it, Jackie. Go ahead and be honest. Go up to the soapbox, but speak truth, not just what people might need to hear right now. People that have been in my audience for a while, they've caught on that sometimes I'm a little hard on myself. Sometimes I catch myself thinking and even saying out loud, I can't stop. I can't take a minute. I can't rest. People need me. People need me. And I know that they do. But what they need is the me that has cared for herself first, that has made every effort to make sure she's okay first. They need the me that's sorted her stuff out, right? Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe people need the messy space that we find ourselves in sometimes. Maybe people need to know that sometimes, even though social media makes it, despite your best effort not to, people still look at your social media platforms and think you've got it all figured out. I had somebody message me last week and say, I know you're really busy. And I would sit with words all the time. And I sat back and went, what am I doing that makes it look like I'm really busy? Because I'm not actually really busy. But social media would have you think, God, she's really busy. I know you've probably got a whole day's worth of clients. And that particular day, I had a couple calls in the morning, but that was it. But I was like, what brings this to people's awareness that they then think that they know something that's not actually accurate? My first line of defense is to be like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? No, I'm not. I'm actually free. You know, we have to remind ourselves that sometimes things appear differently than how they actually are. And we have to remember as well that there are others going through some stuff that we might also be experiencing. And so sometimes we are really truly meant to take a step back, to rest when we're tired, to care for ourselves when we need the caring the most, because you can't show up and be of service to anyone from an empty cup or from a depleted space. Does this resonate? And with the rapidsy, is that a word? Rapidsy? Rapidsy? It's not. With how quickly things are shifting, changing, moving, and picking up in the outside world, that then just must be an indicator that we actually have to start taking that much more steps back and that much more evaluation and that much more effort in protecting our energy. We have to take that time away in the silence. We have to connect more to our prayer practice if that resonates with you. You have to get your journal and keep it close. You have to connect with your guides and keep them close. You have to remember that you have to invite spirit in. Spirit gives you free will. You have free will in the physical world. You get to do whatever the hell you want to do, but what the hell are you doing? Do you know? Have you stopped for a moment to really tune in and know, what am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because compassion fatigue, being so compassionate for everyone else, putting their needs first, caring for them, tending for them, being there all of the time. If it's not conducive to support for self, you're going to get depleted quite quickly. And then the body has to chime in, because the body doesn't like to be fatigued. The body doesn't like to be taxed. The body wasn't built. It was not built to be a machine. The body was not built to be a machine. The body was built to be a temple. The body was built to be a vessel. The body is a conduit that lets you be here in the world, physical, but allows source energy to move through you to be of best impact and service to this planet. Your body was not built to be a machine. It's a living, breathing testament to your ability to be a human, a spirit in form. And if we aren't doing what the body asks us to do, it will begin to break down. And we can't have that when we're here driven by a purpose, an impact, to be of service, to be the light. We have to stop often and make sure that we're okay. We have to stop often to tend to our own needs. And yes, my friend, you have to stop and be selfish. If you're not being selfish, then you're being otherish. Otherish doesn't, it's not a word. That's how absurd it is. You're being otherish. Why are you being so otherish? I'm actually going to put that in the, I'm going to figure out a way to make it a word now. And I'm going to trademark it, otherish. We're going to call my next book Otherish. I'm tired of being otherish because I'm ready to be selfish. I'm ready to make selfish a word that's actually embraced and not like forbidden. Be about yourself. Make everything about yourself, because then you're the brightest light that the self can be. And you remind everyone you come into connection with that it's okay, that they don't have to be fatigued, that they don't have to be resilient all the damn time, and they don't have to be compassionate all the damn time. Sometimes it's okay to just retreat, take care of self, create a beautiful space, a safe space for the vessel, for the temple, the body. Caring for you is the best thing that you can do, and I've seen it show up in my clients over and over and over the past few weeks. We wanna show up and we wanna embrace as many people as we can. I'm realizing my mission is to start to be in person more, to be a physical representation of Source. Now, I am a physical representation of Source, but not digitally all of the time, because you can feel my energy coming through the screen and you can feel my heart as I pour it into you. But there's something about being able to hold a person. It's the reason why we can give hugs. It's the reason why we were built to exchange energy. so that others could feel when we've introduced spirit into the room, when we've allowed spirit to come through, when we've allowed ourselves to be such a vessel of love that others around us, they take a deep breath in our presence and they exhale because they're safe. And this world is lacking that right now. And for those of us that feel called to be that presence, it doesn't mean we have to work harder. It doesn't mean that we have to work harder. It may mean that we have to be more visible. I'm over here. You can choose to give your attention to what's wrong, or you can choose to give your attention to what feels right. I'm over here. I will always be that vessel for Source to pour through and give you a message of love every time. I don't resonate with working so hard like I did before. Now I feel there's so much power in the less, the slower pace. I put out the universe for the property of this life. I put out to the universe for the property of this life. Yes. Yes. That's so good. So when I sat with myself this morning going, is there something I need to heal? I got no. It's just something you need to be. If I'm the expression of God, if I'm the creation of God, if I'm the child of God, then that must mean God has been in charge, the higher faculty this whole time, right? When you look at a parent-child relationship, you see the parent as the authority. When you look at an extension of something, it isn't the all, it's an extension, a piece of it. When you see yourself as a creation, then you realize there was a creator. Are you feeling me? I can breathe. Because if I was created by God, God saw something about me worth creating. And if I'm an extension of God, then clearly I have access to all that God offers: prosperity, love, perfect health, perfect expression. And all I have to remember is I'm not alone. And so, like I said, this morning we were having a bit of a rough morning because I thought something was wrong with me. And instead, I had to realize that there's just energy around right now that is present, that we all can feel, but we get to choose. Our free will is that we get to choose if we're going to subscribe to that energy, meaning I'm going to lean in and make it mine. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't. I rebuke it. I refuse it. Mm-mm. And when I tell you, it was hard morning. I mean, we're talking had to really get out of bed, really had to say, this is what we're doing today. Come on. Let's go. Move the body, girl. Come on, you can do this. When I sat with myself and said, what do I do on a daily basis that brings in some feeling of joy or bliss or connection? Let's go to the gym. I heard go to the gym. Last thing Jackie wanted to do this morning. Trust you me, because the heating blanket's on. It's a nice, cool morning. I had at least another 45 minutes before the kids had to go. I just wanted to sleep. But I got out of bed. I got myself ready. I had my coffee. I got my kids. I loved my kids. I dropped my kids and I drove to the gym, giving me my excuse to why I didn't want to be there, why I didn't want to feel this, why was I moving through some emotion, why were the tears starting to come on, what was going on in this moment. It's very easy to make it about us when it really isn't about us. It's just about, out and about. When you turn the news on and you see the suffering going on, it's hard not to put yourself in those shoes. It's hard not to feel. a part of that happening. It's hard not to question if that's you. It's hard. And so instead of it being something we pour in grief, we want to pour in and analyze and understand what it means. And we want to question, what can I put in its place that is actually supportive? Grieving is supportive, don't get me wrong, but what can I do here to add love? Because the presence of grief is the absence of love. The presence of fear is the absence of love. The presence of anxiety is the absence of love. The presence of frustration is the absence of love. Let me feel these feelings and know these feelings and understand these feelings, but let me now put what's supposed to be there. Let me put in its place connection to love. And I prayed, God, help me see love where there isn't some right now. Show me what I can do. What do I need to remember? I know you surround me. I can feel your presence. I'm bringing it in. I get to the gym. Now, I drive a beautiful car that I love as if it was a child, although I acknowledge it's just a car. This was the greatest manifestation of my business in 2018. And I have learned how to whip this car by all definition. I whip it. I whip it good. I love this car. And I'm so connected when I feel in this car, I know where each bumper is. And so, yeah, I get close to spaces, but I never hit them because I just know where the car is, where it starts, I love this car. I love to whip this car. I feel good in this car. This car is just a physical representation of abundance and prosperity and awesomeness. And so, I pulled into the parking lot. I had Lauren Daigle blasting on my stereo. She was praising about putting God first, and I'm whipping my car. And I decide I'm going to pull in backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to pull into this parking spot. So I whip it in there, and I'm watching the camera, and I know where I am, and I whip it into the parking spot. And next to me, unbeknownst to me, next to me was a gentleman sitting in the car. And so his driver's seat door and my driver's door are sitting right here. And he mouths, he must have had his life flash before his eyes, although I was in control the entire time. So I roll the window down and I'm like, how'd I do? And he rolls the window down and he's like, well, you're skinny. And so you'll be able to fit between the two of these cars. But like, you must really know your car. You really know your space. And I said, yes, sir, I do. This gentleman is from San Diego. Sign number one, best friend lives in San Diego. Love me some San Diego vibe. The Angels live in San Diego. So I'm from San Diego, but I grew up here. We get to conversating. I literally talked to this man that I have never met before until this moment. Have never just divulged my whole life. And clearly he was good with doing the same for his. For 45 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes, I talked to this man. And he says to me, I went through some cancer. And I mean, I just do this. I do this thing. My energy does this thing where people just can just talk. And he's like, I just feel so comfortable with you. And I just literally just met you. This is crazy to me. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. But he has no clue that this is exactly what my guides and God put in my path. There's a reason for this. So I'm listening with the ear and the inner ear and my heart because God's delivering a message through this being. I just know it. And I'm listening to every single word he gives me. And so he says to me, I went through cancer and it was a real struggle. And, I kept myself positive and I prayed though every single day. Prayer. Interesting. I was just doing that. And, I really feel like God pulled me through it. God can pull you out of anything. And he unzips his zipper and he's got this beautiful cross on his chest. And I'm like, wow, I was just talking to God, wondering if God heard me. And he shares some other things about himself and tells me his name is Michael. And we're friends now here on Facebook. And he's a music teacher. Yesterday, I shared on my live how to be an instrument for God. And how every night when I close my eyes, my deepest and most sincerest prayer is that God will use me as his instrument to facilitate whatever music needs to pour through me. The notes, the messages, the connections, the love, the energy, the frequency. Use me. I do your work. I'm here to do your work. God says, serve my people. I'm not just here to serve his people. I'm here to love his people. I bring spirit into form every day, and here's a man reminding me that God loves me. And I'm not quite sure I lost count of how many times he told me I was beautiful. Now, this is a man, very authentic, beautiful, beautiful soul, married, has a beautiful wife, shared his story about marriage and shared his story about trying to have children, and just beautiful conversation. There was nothing on the back end. There was nothing that was attempting to insert itself. It was just a very authentic, genuine conversation. And he said to me, I just stopped here to get a coffee. And I thought I'd sit here for a moment. Clearly, I was waiting to talk to you. If spirit's not in the room in this moment, not quite sure whatever could possibly take place in my world for me to know it. Spirit was in the room. And I shared with him where my heart was heavy. I shared with him where sometimes I don't feel like I'm making the impact that I know I could make. I share my frustration around why bigger spaces don't produce themselves for me so that I can bring this love that I know I hold so much more powerfully. And he reminded me that sometimes it's not about the number. Sometimes it's just about the ministry. There was so much within that conversation that just brought me back to my awareness and my knowing. The reason why we're so compassion fatigued is because we have to recognize that within me is a spirit that's connected to God. Within you is a spirit that's connected to God. Within Jello, there is a spirit connected to God. Within Loren, there's a spirit connected to God. Within Rachel, there's a spirit connected to God. And these spirits connected to God may also be feeling compassion fatigued. And so when we as a collective formed as a collective to come now to this time space reality, to share space as a collective together, not only does that prove we're not alone, there's millions and trillions of people on the planet, but we are also collectively vibrating. And sometimes when the collective gets wind of something that's heavy, and you as a light worker recognize you don't want to go heavy, you want to go high. It takes a little bit more tuning in and a little bit longer connecting with God for you to really stay in that stance, because the collective might be swaying, but doesn't mean that you have to. No. And it reminds me of my purpose. My purpose is to support people with that connecting intuitively, psychically, healing wise. That's what we do on a daily basis through everything that I put out. That's my intention. My clients, my groups, my lives, my TV show, my podcast, my book. Magazines are coming now. Beautiful opportunities to put in print more of my heart. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. And I'll make it whatever spirit asks of me, because that's what I'm here to do. So when you sit back and you wonder, ask yourself what spirit has you here to do. It's going to change, might look different, but you are more connected to the essence of love, aka God, than you know yourself to be. And in those moments when you are really questioning it, don't have fear, because God will place someone right next to the car to remind you of how beautiful you are and how much you're loved. It's a miracle moment that I did not let slip by, and that I absolutely declared and said thank you for. Even to him, I said, Michael, I want to keep in touch. You're a miracle. Thank you so much. He allowed me to share what I get to do, and he was impressed. Impressed from a heart space, not from a head space. So I wanted to pop on, and I just wanted to share a little space with you. I wanted to remind you that if you're feeling a bit of fatigue, could be compassion fatigue, could be that you're wanting so much for others, but maybe it's not what they're wanting for themselves. Nothing drains us more than trying to fix something that's not supposed to be fixed, than trying to fix something that's not supposed to be timed properly, than trying to put somebody else before you. If you're feeling resilience fatigue, it's because sometimes it's not necessary to bounce back and get right back into it. Sometimes it's important for you to just be, to just remember to breathe. It's very interesting to me. They also shared this with me. I was struggling around something the other day, and it came to my awareness that I was actually fixated on something. And they were attempting to show me how you're fixating on this thing and you have to let go and let God take care of it. And I was kind of doing this, give it back, give it back. Okay, I give it. No, wait. Okay, no, oh, wait. Oh, no, okay, here. No, oh, wait. Back and forthing with this thing that I was obsessing over. My guides asked me if I worry about my next beat in my heart. They asked me if I worried about digestion and if I was going to pass what I had to eat that day. They asked me if I was going to worry about the next breath. And it was interesting because I don't think about it. Do you think about it? Do you think if your heart's going to beat the next beat, did it beat, did it beat, did it beat? Do you sit here like this all day long, making sure it's beating and wondering if the next beat's going to come? Do you sit here and worry about the oxygen and making sure you have enough? And if Jackie just took that from you, do you worry about that? Do you worry about that? Did me suggesting that digestion may or may not be working now have you thinking maybe you have to go to the bathroom? Like, we don't worry about those things. And it's interesting because those things just happen. God has it all in hand. God has it all in hand. God keeps the beat of the heart going. God makes sure the digestive tract is working. God makes sure there's enough air. We're all breathing. So why wouldn't God take care of whatever it is you're struggling over right now? Now, remember, you can choose to hold your breath. You can choose to get yourself all worked up. You can choose. But why not choose to be restricted? Why not let God come in and pour in whatever way it's meant to support you with maneuvering towards whatever it is you're meant to move towards? I have so much love for you, and there's such a space here of sovereignty. And I'm here if you feel at times like you need a bit of a boost, a bit of a reminder that spirit does love you and that spirit is listening to you. Sometimes we just have to have a little bit of awareness. Just a bit. I'm going to be everywhere today. Today is Jackie Wednesday. I did a live in my Facebook group, Embracing Self-Mastery, and had a conversation with a beautiful soul about conscious parenting. I decided to come live and share about compassion fatigue with all of you. I also decided on a group course that we're running. That's today at 3:00. And then I'll be back in my Facebook group to do some channeling this evening with Spirit. It's Jackie Wednesday. So if you're in all those spaces, then yay, you. You get a lot of me today. If you're not, you could always send a message to learn how you can get into these different places and spaces so you can receive. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing it and sharing some space with me here today. I appreciate it greatly. It does not go without being witnessed. So, all my love. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will definitely be seeing you soon.